Tell me if this is true or false. When we all sweat, right? As humans, when we all sweat, you can see the sweat pouring out of our skin, right?
Yes.
For dogs, there is one part of the body where you will find a lot more sweat coming out than in the rest of the body. Is my statement true or false? Agastya, you own a dog. Ever noticed where the dog sweats?
I have to think. I have to remember this. But I have seen him sweat in that one place. I just don't remember which part.
Anindya, have you gone near dogs?
I've been bitten by a dog. Of course, I know about.
While the dog was biting you, were you by any chance paying attention to where it was sweating from?
I was coming back from school and the dog lunged at me and started biting my ankle. It's a Saint Bernard, the biggest dog in the world, the biggest breed.
Wow. So next time a
Ma'am.
Saint Bernard is about to lunge at you, try and also pay attention where it is sweating from. Yes, Agastya.
I think it's from the tongue.
Oh,
You think
I've
it's from the
noticed.
tongue? Okay.
I've
No.
actually noticed that.
from the tongue, the saliva. It's the saliva. It's not sweating.
It's with respect to the viscosity of the substance. I'm saying that I recognized it as sweat because their viscosities were different. Sweat and saliva.
I have never paid this level of attention to the saliva's viscosity, but I have done my Google-based research, so I'm proud to tell you that the answer is not the tongue. A dog sweats for the most part from beneath its paws. So that's how the dog cools down, by perspiring or by sweating from beneath its paws. With that interesting trivia out of our way, you think this is a good place to introduce ourselves to our listeners?
Yes.
Wonderful. Good morning. You're listening to What's New Today. It's a podcast where we explore current events shaping our world through the eyes of our younger minds. This is your host, Sangeeta, and in every episode, I'm joined by either primary or middle schoolers who share their ideas on news stories. And in this episode, we speak about a story related to the Paris Olympics 2024. And joining me in this episode are
Hi, I'm Agastya Pandey. I'm 11 and a half years old. I live in Mumbai.
I am Anindya Chaudhary. I am 9 years old. I study in Bombay Scottish School. I live in Mumbai.
Welcome, Anindya. Welcome back, Agastya. Now, for our listeners' sake, I must clarify that Agastya and Anindya have absolutely no idea what topic we are about to discuss.
I
Because
do.
You do? What is it?
About Doggy Olympics.
About Doggy Olympics. Okay, there's a twist in the tale, and we'll discover where the twist comes. For our listeners' sake, we should tell them that this is a 20-question style episode. I will give them the first few lines of each of the news story for today, and then they can ask me questions. They can ask me if they need hints. They can make a few intelligent guesses, and that's how they'll unravel the rest of the news story. And as Anindya says, we'll find out if this is about Doggy Olympics or something altogether new. Okay, here's the first news story. This year, the Paris Olympics, a 4-year-old golden retriever from the US will be the first of its kind to make an appearance. It is a part of USA's Olympics gymnastics team. It even wears an official staff credential ID card hanging around its neck. So, Agastya and Anindya, what do you think this dog will do at the Olympics this year?
I think the dog is going to do a backflip and a front flip. It's a gymnastics thing.
When they do gymnastics, are they like going to do it individually, or are they going to go do something like make a few forms or anything?
In the they in your question, Agastya refers to all the participants.
Yes,
athletes.
all the parts.
I'll give you a hint. The dog is not going to do gymnastics.
Is it going to help the people by getting them stuff and those things?
Like someone is jumping over a pole and then they forgot to bring their towel. The dog will go fetch the towel and give it.
Yeah, maybe.
No.
Mascot.
A mascot is a great guess, Agastya, but I don't know if a dog that's a mascot would be walking around with an staff ID card.
Is he a substitute? One of the Olympics get hurt, the Olympic athletes. Then if one of them get injured, then will he come in their place?
So the dog is going to do a pole vault if one Olympic athlete gets injured, according to Anindya.
For other Olympic things, but definitely not for that pole vault.
It can't, okay. But the answer is no.
If some member has gotten an injury, yes, if he gets an injury, will the dog be able to kind of suddenly, not exactly detect it because it's not a doctor, but realize that something has happened?
So according to Agastya, the dog is capable of sensing if someone's gotten hurt.
Also, I don't really mean that they can sense an injury because, of course, we'll know that the person is injured. Which part got injured?
Ooh. So without doing an X-ray, they can just ask the dog to go stand, take one good look at that person, and it'll declare, okay, this
Perhaps
rib.
not, but like it might be not able to sense it just by looking, and it does not have a special ability to have X-ray
Hmm.
vision, of course.
Hmm.
But if it can understand the pain of the person, and depending on that, sense what has happened, then maybe.
Bang on. You are very, very, very close. So I'm going to give away the answer. Can I?
Okay.
Yes, you ultrally can.
So this dog is a therapy dog for the Olympics gymnastics team. It is the therapist who will accompany the dog. The dog's name is Beacon. It's 4 years old. The therapy dogs, what it does is it picks up on the emotional stress. So the injury that Agastya was referring to, so don't think of the physical injury. Instead, think of all the stress, whatever mental stress that the person, the athlete who's competing, is going through. This dog, as it just walks past each athlete, it can immediately sense who is under a lot of stress. And then it will get drawn towards that person immediately. And it sort of acts as an emotional sponge. So it sits right next to that person. And usually that person will feel like giving the dog a gentle rub. Does that happen to you too, Agastya? Because you've got a dog. If the dog that you own
Yes.
comes, sits next to you, will you give it a nice rub?
I would pat it.
Just
I
to
would
pet
pat
it,
it and
just
stroke
to
it.
rub it.
That is exactly what all of these Olympic athletes do. So when Beacon recognizes who is under the most stress, this dog called Beacon, he would immediately go and sit next to them. And then that person would gently rub and rub and
He would gain confidence. He would
yeah.
get over his nervousness.
This is like a slight bit of trivia, but so it's said that there are two types of energy you get, positive and negative energy, and that it can also be physically spread out. It requires a lot of science, but I won't get into that. So when you pet a dog and rub it, when you this motion is a way of transferring that energy, and so when you rub it, the motion you make transfers all that negative energy to the dog, which won't really affect it because dogs are scientifically said to also be slightly uh, somehow able to absorb that energy instead of making it so cool. So when you do this, you drain out all your negative energy.
And fill it with positive energy.
Wow, I didn't know I had Sadhguru Anindya and Sadhguru Agastya with me on the podcast today, but I'm very thrilled that y'all are able to understand the role of stress in a competitive atmosphere. Yes.
And the negative energy is not metaphorical, it's
Mm.
real. It's real. And with respect to science, it somehow just affects our brain and can also do a lot of damage to our body.
One trivia question I've got for you. So, dogs can become therapy dogs. They are trained. Some dogs undergo training to become these therapy dogs. Is there a particular breed of dog or dogs of a certain age that you think can best be suited to become a therapy dog?
Yeah, I think they do need a specific age. 4 to 9 years or something.
Okay, and what's the rationale for your 4 to 9 age range?
I just guess.
Random. Okay. what, what about you, Agastya?
Yeah, dogs are really good at sensing, and their sense of smell develops quite quickly. So I am not so sure of an appropriate age for it, but I can say that at a bit of a higher age than what Anindya mentioned,
Hmm.
I think it will be better at sensing it.
So,
So perhaps I will say at least 12 years.
okay, so Agastya thinks an older dog is wiser.
Oh, yes, the surprising thing is that at 12 years, their olfactory senses don't actually diminish as such, but that's the best time they can actually smell things.
Or most optimal for their olfactory
And then
senses.
after, like, yeah, then at 13 or 14 years, it really goes down.
Here's the answer. Which breed and which age? Apparently, it doesn't matter which breed the dog is, and it also doesn't matter how old the dog is. Can be a 6-month-old pup, it can be a 12-year-old dog also that can be trained to become a therapy dog. What matters is the dog is that particular dog's personality, I believe. So dogs that are usually very calm, very gentle, and the ones that are very comfortable with any stranger also touching them and rubbing them. So if they have these characteristics, they can automatically become a therapy dog. It doesn't matter how old the dog is. Does this sound logical to you?
Yes.
Quite logical.
Quite logical. Wonderful. In which case, we need to do a quiz time. Can we do a quiz time
It's
now?
my favorite part now.
Question 1. Where do dogs sweat from?
Their paws.
Question 2. How old was the therapy dog that came along with the
years.
United States team?
4 years.
The last and the final question. Only dogs of certain breeds can be trained to become therapy dogs. True or false?
False. False. Dogs are great at sensing things, and specific breeds might be able to sense it better. But all dogs have a keen sense of things like smell. So, if trained enough, any dog can also,
Become a therapy dog.
yes.
With that, we come to an end on this news story on dogs and Olympics. Next Friday, too, Agastya and Anindya join me in another episode where we speak about a new story also related to Olympics. But disclaimer, there are no dogs featuring in that story. And before we sign out, here's a quick heads up. We help children become published authors through our writing course. Ideas and creativity are always brimming in the heads of young minds. But if you're looking for a mentor who can channel these great ideas over the course of 20 sessions and put them together into one wonderful story, you're in the right place. It's one session per week, priced at rupees 1600 per month. A new cohort will begin shortly. If you'd like to register for this and find out the dates, the timings, etc., you can find them in a link in the show notes below. If you enjoyed listening to this episode, please do share it with your friends and family, especially the ones you think will enjoy getting their weekly dose of news in such a wholehearted way. Agastya and Anindya, I loved chatting with both of you about dogs. I know we've got one more episode to record, but for now, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.